Thought Cops presents Escape from Neo Chicago, a live Thought Cops event.
Thursday, August 26th at the Lincoln Lodge Theater in Neo Chicago. Join the Thought Cops Kevin and Grant with special guest deputies Brandon Kirkman and Martin Felshman for a night of irony-poisoned alternative comedy forged from the darkest corners of the internet.
Tickets are $10.
Ticket link in the episode description. Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
And I'm Officer Grant. That always feels great to do the second time.
Yes, I think we should do that more often. Let's fuck up the recording.
Fuck up everything
Start
and then
it
just
over.
completely restart the show.
We kicked off the rust. Now we're happy. We're healthy. How you doing, man?
Great. Let's get it done. Let's get it.
Let's get her done. Hey, I don't care who you are. That's funny. Let's give a quick thank you to our guest from last time, Andrew Shankland. And let's give a warm welcome to a brand new guest to the show. That's right, everybody. I'm talking about DJ Douggpound, AKA Doug Lussenhop. How are you, Doug?
Thank you, guys. Great to be here. Great to be here. Back,
yes. Back and better than ever, I'd like to say. Well, we're so happy to have you here on the show, Doug. You have been a prolific voice amongst comedy, and maybe that's kind of a lame or dumb way to put it, but I just want to say that you've given the world so much laughter over the years. You've worked as an editor and writer on Tim and Eric Awesome Show, The Eric Andre Show, and Portlandia. You also created your own stuff as long as the ways of Pound House, Two Wet Crew, the Poundcast, and you're also a co-host on Office Hours with Tim Heidecker. Did I get all that right?
That's all correct, sir. Thank you. Thank you for
that is all
up.
correct. No problem. Hey, anytime anyone comes on the show, you know I'm going to be on that Wikipedia page, skimming and scanning and reciting everything. But
Control C, Control V. He does it all, really,
more or less. But I have you brought me a lot of laughs over the years. I'll say that much because you worked on so much great stuff. Tim and Eric Awesome Show is such a huge presence amongst people who are up and coming or newer voices in comedy. And then you were a vital part of that show, just the crazy, snappy editing style and everything that you kind of brought to that, because, the jump from Tom Goes to the Mayor to Tim and Eric Awesome Show, it was very like in your face. And, more or less, I would say that, you were a big part of that, right?
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I
would like to think so too.
I tend to not honk my own horn, but yes, I definitely worked on all 5 seasons of that, and it was a lot of fun. I would say that.
I can imagine, like that had to have been a blast to just like be a part of that whole thing, because like I used to have the Tom Goes to the Mayor DVDs, and I used to watch the behind the scenes of those and just like watch them working in their office and stuff, and I'm like, man, that looks like so much fun. Like, what a fun job that must be, it's a lot of hard work, I'm sure, but just being with your friends, making fun stuff, I don't know if it can, you can't beat that.
Those were the days back in the Tom Goes to the Mayor days, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because you correct me if I'm wrong, but you did work on that show too, at least to some extent, right?
Yeah, I worked on pretty much all of it. I got there as an intern right when they were like finishing up the first episode of the first season.
Oh, wow.
So I was there from pretty close to the beginning of that show too.
Man, what a time. Like, yeah, that show was like just so fucking funny. I love it. I still love it. I was rewatching it recently on HBO Max, and I'm like, this like still makes me laugh. It's incredible. But before you did all that, though, we're here in Neo Chicago. You were also a Chicago native from the same general area that Grant and I are from, the western suburbs of Chicagoland.
Yeah, right down down I-55 there.
Oh yeah,
down to Cass Avenue.
Oh, I know that area.
Then I went to I went to college up in Columbia College.
Nice.
Did a couple 2-3 years there. I went to college at DuPage before that.
I grew up right around college at DuPage. We were probably there at the same time, just in a very different points of our lives.
Could have been.
Could have been. But yeah,
could have been.
Hey, if
it feels like we're talking to each other like on the, like it feels like you're like on the moon, and
oh man, is it still fucked up?
You know, like well, no, you're not choppy. It's just like the delay is kind of funny.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm saying something that might get a reaction, and you're kind of like, yeah.
That might just be me, though. That might just be me, my face.
He's a little slow sometimes.
Yeah,
but
I'll give you that, yeah.
It makes sense. You know, like everything in my life, I feel like always builds up to the point where I'm at. And just like, you know, having you on the show right now, Doug, and having like this giant disaster, it's like, this is it. This is the authenticity of just what our lives are doing this show every week. You know,
hey, if nothing else, it's authentic.
It's surreal in the most real of ways, you know.
All right.
That's how I feel.
I'll give you that.
Well, that's how I like it.
Exactly.
But yeah, Doug, I also wanted to say too, you were a guest over on our friends over at Mega 64 did the Mega 64X online Comic-Con recently, and that was a lot of fun to see you on there just doing your set. And I've seen you at their game days in the past, and we've crossed paths a number of times over the last several years.
Yeah, didn't I run into you at Mars Brewery?
Yeah. You were there? Yeah, you were doing the the 2X crew was dropping their new limited edition blue piss. It was delicious, man. Good piss.
Yeah. I have one can left. I'm going to have one can left. It's going to be one of my family heirlooms.
Oh, man.
Passed down.
You know, you're going to open that thing. You're not going to know if it's like moldy or if it's just the discoloration that was put in there, you know?
Yeah, I like to think, you know, we made the first blue beer. I've never seen a blue beer before.
I haven't either.
That's cool that they were able to pull that off.
I know me and Grant were just talking before the show. We got this like, we got these classic brown beer bottles on the desk here, just like something straight out of a cartoon, but it's just like, just a nice, you look at this and you're thinking...
It's so aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Yeah, it's
just
a nice...
brown bottle.
Classic adult beverage. But you know what? You switched it up. You went blue. And I'm not just talking about, you know, you don't get crasp like that, but you did go blue.
You got to go blue with your jokes and your beer.
That's what I'm saying. So, let me see here. Let's move on to a little bit of our own show news. We got a live show coming up here very soon, August 26th. That's right, August 26th. It's a Thursday night at 7 p.m. at the Lincoln Lodge in Logan Square in Neo, Chicago. If you haven't got a ticket, tickets are available now in the episode description. If you're on YouTube, if you're on any podcast app, just go ahead and scroll down and find that ticket, get one, because it's going to be a good time. We got friends of the show, Brandon Kirkman and Martin Felshman will be on the show, and who knows what kind of crazy surprises we'll cook up for you.
It'll be like this, but in person.
It'll be like
Watch
this.
as I scramble to open links.
And maybe we should have a delay at the live shows too. It's like they with every time they want to answer, be like, no, hold on, like give it like a second.
Yeah.
Just like you said, for the authenticity.
Exactly.
But let's move right along to a very famous, very favorite segment of the show. That's right, I'm talking about 2 Minutes of Hate, where we like to blanket punish all that annoying, random crap that we see on the internet every single day of our waking lives, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, God forbid, Facebook, because you say something wrong on Facebook these days, you're going to end up in Facebook jail, and that's no good. So,
yikes.
My 2 minutes of hate this week is when people who cause trouble on Twitter or people who kind of become voices of like bad faith arguments on Twitter, they'll have like an avatar to their name, and then it's like it's like maybe it's like a cartoon character or something you're familiar with. Basically, the one example that I was thinking of, there's this guy on Twitter, he's always picking fights, he's always getting in I forgot his handle, it's like Lo-Fi Republican or something. But he's got this avatar, it's Diddy Kong with a backwards hat, and it's like everybody's always like dunking on this guy, talking shit about this guy, because he's always like just picking fights on Twitter and saying the dumbest shit. And then now it's like whenever I say Diddy Kong,
you think of the guy.
I'm thinking about Lo-Fi Republican on Twitter, and it's one of these guys, he got Twitter famous just because he's stirring some shit up, you know? And he did it in, like I said, in bad faith, and he did it by using our wonderful primate friend's Diddy Kong's
beloved
face.
character just rubbed through the dirt.
Beloved icon. Yes, it's very sad. And I feel like I've seen that happen with other accounts online, on Twitter and stuff, where they may not have their face attached to their account. They may just have like a recognizable character, but then it kind of like sours the character. Have you guys ever seen anything like this? Grant, I know for a while you had that avatar of Luigi giving the middle finger.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And now I can't see
I want to
Luigi,
go back to it.
I can't see Luigi giving the middle finger anymore without thinking of your shenanigans and chicanery on the internet.
Yeah, there's one account that's like Kim Possible Facts, and there's like been some weird hubbub about like who possibly runs that account. And every time I see Kim Possible, I think weird thoughts.
What kind of weird thoughts?
Like angry thoughts.
Angry thoughts. Okay.
Not that I was a fan of that show, but it's like
it's fine if you were.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all
I know, Doug. I don't know if you're too familiar with this or not, but just like we're coming into an age where the internet has become simultaneously more anonymous and less anonymous, where it's like I feel like I got no problem putting my face on my account, my avatar on social media. It's my stupid face, from a video we did. And I think like it kind of makes me, to be honest, I think it kind of makes me stay on better behavior, because if I'm hiding behind something that isn't me or isn't my name, I might be inclined to act like differently or get in some trouble, cause some mischief. But it's like when I have my name on something and my face attached to it, I'm like, I better be on my best behavior. If that makes any sense at all. I don't know. I'm probably talking
about a question.
It was a question that meandered.
I was about to. Yeah. Anyway, you froze for a second, but you're back. Yeah, I just had that yesterday. I had this. I mean, it was everything I do on Twitter. I don't do Twitter as much these days because people are just so. I don't know. They just like to just argue, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It used to be a place of fun and jokes, and now it's
100%.
just like,
yeah,
just kind of annoying. And I just thought of this joke yesterday that I wrote it, and then I saved it to a draft, and then I woke up this morning and I kind of like tweaked it, and then I saved it to a draft again because I'm like, do I want to start some shit? It's going to turn into a whole thing. But the joke is, if we have this. There's climate change emergency that we're learning about here, that we're learning more and more about. And maybe if population, this is a very more long-winded way of saying it, but if there's a lot less people on Earth, maybe that'll take a burden off of all the resources and all the thing, right? So maybe we should be applauding the anti-vaxxers. So, because maybe a lot of them will kind of help us depopulate the planet. We shouldn't be all mad at them. We should be
it's going to happen anyway.
We should. They could be they're the heroes. Really, the anti-vaxxers are the true heroes because they're sacrificing their lives to help with the climate emergency unknowingly.
I would say the anti-vaxxers are definitely like the anti-heroes of the modern day.
Yeah,
they're morally gray. You may not agree with everything they do or say, but at the end of the day, they're taking up less of the oxygen emissions. So maybe this planet will survive in the end after all.
Like maybe that's the grand plan of this. This virus like the Earth invented it because humans are burning the place down. So they're like, we got to get some of these people out of here. And if the anti-vaxxers are the ones that are going to get hit hardest, maybe we should say thank you to them.
There are not all heroes wear capes. Essential workers.
Not all heroes get vaxxed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not all heroes smoke vapes.
There we go.
Has anyone done that before?
I don't think so. Hey, feel free to keep that one in the draft.
Throw it on a shirt.
So did you end up posting that, Doug, or were you just kind of holding off and thinking like you might feel like a little bit nervous?
That's still in the drafts. I mean, that could be a Thought Cops exclusive if you want that. I mean, it's not even that great of something. I think it's kind of a funny thing to think about. Like,
definitely,
why, maybe that'll help us all get along a little bit more. I'm just trying to come up with solutions on how to make the world just get along better.
Right. Yeah. See,
You know,
maybe
right.
that's a good tag for the post too. So it's like if anybody like comes at you for it later, you can say like, "Hey, I'm just trying to create some world peace, ease tensions." You know?
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the silver lining in every topic. I'm not trying to say I'm right, you're wrong. I'm trying to say like there's a place for everybody.
That's right. I like that.
Real consequentialist take. Yeah, I do also have that apprehension towards just like anything that I put out recently, whether it's a tweet or a video or whatever, where it's just like, man, I just don't want to deal with the whole like starting shit thing. And it's like, yeah, shit just sits in your drafts for forever. And eventually I just go, fuck it. I don't need to post anything at all ever.
Yeah.
What's the point of it?
Yeah, it makes you want to not post things. I mean, I do that. I'm kind of like, you know, that's not really my lane, is getting political and stuff
same.
anyway. But you know, so I just try to. Yeah, it kind of makes me like want to post less, but which is good because I think a lot of that's my 2 minutes of hate. Some people are just like posting everything all the time. It's like curate your posts a little bit, folks.
100%, yeah. And before we'll jump to that first, but my punishment for the people who are hiding behind their Diddy Kongs and their Luigis or whatever the case, put your real name on there. Dox yourself. I want to see a face. I want to see a name. I want to see your home address and social security, because it will make you stay on better behavior. It'll make you stay humble as well. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
I would like to add on Instagram, all these people talking to me, writing comments, and it's like, okay, well, who are you? And then it's a private account.
Right.
You know, don't be private account. I'm out there. I'm putting myself out there. But what do you got to hide? Then if you got something to hide, don't talk to me.
Yeah, it's the same on I'm on TikTok a lot, and you'll get a lot of hateful comments from user number 492875, and it's just like, just put a name at least, just Ryan, just put the name Ryan, right. Like that doesn't even have to be your name, but just like do user something. Numbers are do something. Be called something. Don't just be the default user right
number in line.
Just like mash the keyboard. Yeah, that's
you don't have any voice. Yeah, like if that's, then that should be like, well, your comment doesn't count if that's as much effort as you're putting into it. You're not a person. You don't exist. Have some
as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
that's right. So, Doug, if you were saying if you could elaborate on your 2 minutes of hate a little bit, and we could punish that.
Well. Maybe I misunderstood when you said about the 2 minutes of hate, because I have 2 minutes of hate of something from the real world.
That's fine too. People go off on all kinds of things.
At this point, cyberspace and the real world are so intermeshed that it's all the same.
It's one and the same.
Same shit, same toilet.
I mean, I guess we've all been in our houses for, we spent the whole year kind of hiding away from the rest of the public. And I would just like to say that this might take longer than 2 minutes, but I think there's too many dogs out there.
Oh,
and look, before you rip my head off, I've owned dogs. I had a dog for 11 years. She was wonderful. But some of these dogs out there, they're aggressive. They're always barking. Everyone's got a dog. It's like maybe not everyone needs a dog anymore. Like, there's too many dogs. Let's roll down the dog population.
Hey, well, there we go. Right up there. Give the dogs a vape, see what happens. See what happens. But Doug, one thing to that point is I have heard that there was a lot of pet adoptions during the pandemic because people were lonely. They wanted a companion. But then I was also hearing that as things started to open back up, people were taking the pets back to the pound.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, it's very selfish. And, I almost adopted a dog a few months ago, and I had this cute dog that somebody found. It was a stray. And I thought maybe, I would like a dog again. Then I had him for 3 weeks or so, or maybe a month. And I realized I live alone, so it was like the dog was kind of sad when I was gone, and I just felt bad for the dog, and I found another home where he lived in a house with like 3 or 4 people, and he wasn't, it was like after I got rid of that dog, I realized maybe dogs aren't great for everybody. Everybody.
Sure, yeah.
Like, if you live on a farm, maybe a dog would be great. And if you're a family and, the dog gets to, I don't know. I just think, people got those, they adopted those dogs out of being selfish. And this is a hot take. And I know people might hate on this. I'm kind of being a little facetious or whatever, but I don't know. Lately, I've been playing volleyball and people were bringing their dogs and their dogs are just tied up and they're just like constantly like barking at something. And it's like, I think maybe I'm in the dog zone lately. And it's like, these dogs need to be curated.
Yeah. Like my neighbor across the hall from me in my building has a dog and she's like never home. And it's kind of sad. Like I honestly feel kind of bad.
It's just like abuse, man.
Well, because it's like every time I walk up the stairs and I'm like putting my keys in my door, I hear the dog going nuts because like the dog thinks it's the owner and it's never, And I'll hear the owner come by once in a while, but they're like out and about constantly. And I hear this dog like every time I come up the stairs, will leave my apartment, enter my apartment. It's like they get all excited and it's like sorry, it's just me.
Yeah, and in my neighborhood, we have a lot of people with dogs that are just sort of like in the yard. So when I'm walking down the street, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'll be like, and it's like this terrifying
that's a good jump scare.
And those dogs, people aren't walking those dogs. They're just like a dog, like a prison dog that like guards the yard or something. And I just, I feel bad for the dogs, and I am a dog lover, and this is out of being a dog lover. I feel like these dogs aren't in the best situation. And maybe we should stop like breeding them and having so many.
I agree.
Maybe there's a way. We got to start spaying and neutering them, like
a great man once said, Bob Barker.
Bob Barker, yeah, the great Bob Barker, and that's kind of a great last name for a dog lover.
That's a good point. Yeah, spay and neuter your pets. Bob Barker.
Barker. I hardly know her, but more to Doug's point. Also, like, we there are too many types of dog, and there's so many that are just like fucked, man. We've fucked up the entire species. Like, the best dog you can get is the one that's just like the closest to like whatever dog's ancestors were. And everything else, it's just like they have these smushed faces,
breathing
and they
problems.
Can't breathe, they can't move their legs, they can't give natural birth, and it's like, maybe we should stop pretending that dogs are children and trying to have children dogs where it's your little friend. It's not a friend, it's an animal, and it needs to breathe.
That's a good point. I think to round this all out, where all this stuff went wrong was when we started using the term fur baby. That's when everything went out of control.
Yeah, the fur baby thing. I was noticing that because when I had my dog, I would like I had that app Rover.
Was it Rover without the E?
I remember
ROVR.
Maybe it's just like a dog walking app. It was fine, but like I remember a lot of them were like, "I'll take care of your fur baby."
Maybe pass on that one.
Yeah. We could hate on stuff all day if you want. Give me a topic, I'll find something.
We got it. That's every week, man. I don't know if you saw the doc. We got such a massive lineup of things.
We'll never get through all the hate, honestly.
And to be fair, some of that's outdated, which, that's just us doing our jobs.
It'll come back around. It
always does.
It'll come back around.
So, Doug, if you had a punishment for this, too many dogs, what would you say? Just kind of go along with the climate change thing again? Just, let nature have at it?
Wait, what it would be my solution?
Yeah.
Oh, my solution is spay and neuter these dogs, and maybe these breeds, like you were saying, like pugs and stuff that like are suffering like their whole life because they can't breathe and they can't swim and they can't even give birth normally. Maybe let them live happy lives, but not keep making more. And maybe let the dogs that are take care of our dogs better. And we'll just kind of have less of them as those generations die out. And maybe not anyone can get a dog. Maybe you need to go to some kind of like school, or
there
like
should
you
be
gotta take it. You got to get like a dog license.
Yeah, there should definitely be more of a vetting process for a lot of this stuff. Where it's like even I don't feel like I'm even responsible enough, and and I grew up with dogs, so it's like I don't know. It's a lot of responsibility.
Quick addendum to that: anybody that breaks the rules and laws of the dog license, Primus on repeat until you go crazy.
Primus.
Everything. Too many puppies all the time. 24/7 too many puppies until you realize that you got too many puppies. There's too many. Until it cracks through and breaks your psyche down and you realize the fault of your ways. No more. No more.
Now, Grant, I see you getting pretty hot over there. What's your 2 minutes of hate?
I'm angry. My 2 minutes of hate. Oh man, this is 2 minutes of heartbreak and self-stupidity. My 2 minutes of hate is we're Kevin, you're talking earlier in the show about all of these foundational comedy entities that we've all grown to know and love and stuff like that. And you know, like you get to see sort of behind the curtain with a lot of people, and some people you don't really. And there's a lot of people that tend to play up a certain persona, and you're like, it's a joke, right? It's a joke. The persona is a joke, and they're like behind every persona, there's a normal person. Like, I do believe that a lot of art comes from a lot of dark places, and that some of the best artists are really just trying to reconcile with some deep, dark, heavy shit. But then you grow up listening to, I don't know, let's say just name any band. Mindless Self-Indulgence. Let's say you grow up listening to Mindless Self-Indulgence and you're a teenager and you're full of rage, and then just the singer just actually is a pedophile and wasn't joking about it. You're kind of like, well, I feel stupid.
To be fair, weird thing to joke about, but also like
weird thing to joke about, but it's not just that, because it as far as 2 minutes of hate is concerned, it's never just that, because there's all types of people, these ironic edgelord type whoever, and like you buy into it, and you buy into it that it's a bit and that it's supposed to be some sort of deeper meaning, that there's something that it's just a cultural criticism, it's a reflection of ourselves, and it's not. It's just that people are sometimes pedophiles and sing songs about being pedophiles, and you feel like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of, I'm not going to name names, but like a lot of comedians and content creators over the years who you're watching their stuff and you may be thinking like, oh, this is like ironic, this is, but
right.
They're doing a character. And then all of a sudden you realize that it's not a character. It's just an excuse.
And you buy into it because, again, like you relate to certain art pieces and you relate to angst and anger and like just wanting to give the world a middle finger, and like maybe this offends some people or whatever. And then it turns out that it's like, oh, it offends people for a reason, because like what you actually think and do behind closed doors is disgusting. And it's always heartbreaking because it's like there's so many like people who are like so cutting edge that I've looked up to as a comedian, as a content creator, as a musician for however long. And then it's just like, oh, they're like actually really bad.
Yeah, it's always a bummer, man. It's a shame. I know, like, Doug, I'm sure, like, again, without naming names, I'm sure that you've come across a number of examples of this where you see people who have kind of taken a turn ideologically, or maybe they're kind of just, kind of like I was saying.
Or maybe they show their true selves over time.
Yeah.
Maybe their true self was always there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's a case by case thing. I mean, no, first of all, no one's perfect. Yeah. I mean, there's the one thing that I think Bill Maher was ranting about last week, where there were people that were working on the Olympics who had to resign or were fired because they said something in the 90s.
I mean, yeah, that's
right.
Like there's that kind of crap where it's like, that's ridiculous. It's like, we've all said dumb stuff when we were younger, and it's in a different context. And it's like, we all learn from our mistakes. And it's like, why are we punished now for saying stuff deep in the past? But maybe you're not talking about that. Maybe you're talking about someone who it turns out now they're saying a lot of problematic stuff, or it turns out they're abusive and they're they're on a power trip or something. I mean, I am on the it's a case by case basis, but yeah, it is disappointing when you learn that people are kind of shitty that you looked up to. And, sometimes I would like to think that people should get a chance to learn from their mistakes. But if they double down and it's like, depends
right.
What we're talking about, not naming names, but like, it's
right.
It's disappointing.
Not like a Harvey Weinstein.
I mean, once Bill Cosby, like, I think that was the big one. That was like, because he went from being the arbiter of family man, whatever, like values. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of like looked up to. It's like other people like Weinstein. It's like he just seemed, no one's looking up to him. He's just like, he's probably a shady guy. No one ever thought like, his personality was, anyway, he's a behind the scenes guy, but. It's just like, I don't know what to say about that. It's just a weird.
Yeah, and I do think that there is, like, for better or for worse, there is a lot of mob mentality that, like, I do think is less than forgiving, and I definitely think that, like, seeking out growth in people is, like, a very important attribute in order to just, like, make a better society for people, right? That you want people to grow, you want people to get better. I'd rather have a guy that used to be a white supremacist not be a white supremacist anymore than have a guy still be a white supremacist. It's sort of thing. Like you want growth, you want change, you want the world to be better over time. But also, like, I think more so to my point, like the frustration of, like, when people tell you exactly who you are and you, like, try and look past it, and then it's like, oh no, they are that. Like, this wasn't a character. That I think is incredibly frustrating. As somebody who just, like, always tried to voraciously consume different content, different art, different media, stuff like that, And it's like you defend it, and then it's like, oh, my defense was worthless, at this point in time.
How would you punish him?
Jail.
Jail. Wow. Phoning it in.
I mean, depending on the crime, yeah.
Go to jail. I guess
rehabilitation.
You're gonna fund a rehab center?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the culture of punishing. I understand the cathartic why people would want to do that.
Right.
I guess I just think there's a lot of people out there, like, people should be held accountable, but also people shouldn't be, like, digging up tweets from 10 years ago to try to, like, gotcha on try to bust people with.
It feels very disingenuous.
And, when if you just want to punish someone, say someone's a white supremacist, you just want to punish them and, like, dunk on them on Twitter or whatever, that's not going to change anyone's mind. That's probably just going to make them double down.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that the whole both sides of that are kind of doing it wrong mostly.
I would say there's a lot of
I don't
like a lot of overcorrecting and just, like, people, like, really digging their heels into the sand, being like, nope.
Yeah.
So it's all for.
Yeah.
But like Grant said, they're going to jail.
Well, if you're a pedophile, you probably belong in jail. But, like, everything else sort of case by case basis. I know I just rattled off just some random band that I probably made up in my head and that, whatever. But, like, outside of that specific example,
maybe
the
guy's name is, like, Jimmy Piss or something. Something like that. Who knows?
Or some other people.
What was that band? What was that band you said? And is that a real
it's a real story. Mindless Self-Indulgence. It turns out that the singer, who, you know, I listened to them a lot, like in 8th grade, beginning of high school, like ends up like yeah, he is sort of a bad person, groomer, underage type, you know.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Well, never meet your heroes, because a lot of times you're going to be disappointed. You didn't meet him. I'm not saying you met him.
And maybe one day you will.
Yeah, so you can't listen to the music anymore? You can't listen to it anymore? What about the guitar player? What about the bass player?
Oh, man.
You gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater?
Oh, man.
If they
That's
knew,
what I was thinking, too.
If they knew about possible sex crimes and they were covering up for it, I don't know. It's hard. Especially when they have songs that are like a 5-year-old panty shot and say the N-word a lot and things like that. It's sort of like, oh, no, he was telling us all. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't irony. It was he just...
Doug, don't you have a joke about that with like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I do, actually. It's a way to listen to Michael Jackson without offending other people, because you celebrate the guitar part or the keyboard part instead of his lyrics and the singing, because the other musicians, you know, they're ostensibly not problematic.
Just cut out the Prince of Pop and you got yourself a wonderful song.
Oh man,
exactly.
that's so hard to do with Mindless Self-Indulgence, because I'm pretty sure that was just like a one-man band with just other people happen to be there.
That's kind of the impression I got too.
Yeah.
But speaking of impressions,
the band is called I was saying the band is called Mindless Self-Indulgence, so
I thought
he's like, that's the name of my
I tried to warn you,
we should have listened. We should have listened the whole time, but instead I was thinking it was ironic. Apparently it wasn't ironic. I don't know.
You gave him the benefit of the doubt. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't beat yourself up over that.
I guess so. I really do.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. There's other bands out there.
There's other better bands out there too.
Impossible.
But yeah, I mean, I do try and see the best in humanity to the best of my ability. So,
speaking of seeing the best in humanity,
it's getting harder.
It really is. So on that note, if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories and then sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and quite often unusual punishment. Let's talk about Cuomo. We're talking about freaks and sickos. Let's talk about soon-to-be former Governor Cuomo. Grant, if you want to pull up the video here.
Yeah.
So this is just like, I mostly just want to talk about, and again, I'm not looking to get political here, I'm not whatever, but we're going to play the video here, which is his apology, I guess you could call it. Kind of a strange one. So I'll read the headline here. Cuomo plays slideshow of him touching and kissing people in defense of allegations that he sexually harassed women.
This is going to be good.
So we'll play this here.
Gesture. I do it with everyone. Black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ, powerful people, friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street.
It's a lot of touching.
After the event, the woman told the press that she took offense at the gesture. And for that, I apologize. Another woman stated that I kissed her on the forehead at our Christmas party and that I said, "Ciao, Bella." Now, I don't remember doing it, but I'm sure that I did. I do kiss people on the forehead. I do kiss people on the cheek. I do kiss people on the hand. I do embrace people. I do hug people, men and women.
It's just a slideshow of evidence.
I do on occasion say, "Ciao, Bella." On occasion, I do slip and say sweetheart or darling or honey. I do banter with people. I do tell jokes.
He riffs.
Some better than others. I am the same person in public as I am in private. You have seen me do it on TV through all my briefings and for 40 years before that. I try to put people at ease. I try to make them smile.
All right.
And the last one is a picture of him getting kissed. How about that? Now, you know, he says, on occasion, I've been known to say ciao Bella. Hey, who hasn't, you know?
So there's a famous picture of him saying, I'm not perverted, I'm Italian. Is that real?
I think that might be fake. I looked into it, but it again, that was kind of the message.
The breakdown, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe don't be like so Italian.
Maybe tone down the Italian.
Because it's like, not everybody is comfortable with that kind of stuff, you know, and that's something that there's a lot of conversation about. You know, not everybody, I wouldn't want to get fucking kissed on the forehead at a Christmas party. This guy comes out to me and says, look at me, you fanook, and just like grabs my cheeks and forcibly kisses me on the forehead. Like, I don't want that. That would make me uncomfortable, and I'm sure it makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, I think, you know, it's good that he stepped down. If it was, he's a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not to be political, but if that was a Republican, he's not stepping down, and he would deny, and he would actually do some kind of like rally, you know, and do some tour like that guy Matt Gaetz or whatever.
He double down, yeah.
You know, he's out. Yeah, they double down with their. Every time they get accused of something, they're like bullies, where they're like, "No, I didn't. You actually, it's you. You're the
Stop kissing yourself. Stop kissing yourself."
Yeah, I think the Matt Gaetz thing. Matt Gaetz said that he was people were trying to do cancel culture on him. They said, "Oh, you're trying to cancel me." It's like, sir, sir,
was that intentional?
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
I'm very sick right now.
Just going on,
sir. You may be a pedophile, like, you know.
Yeah.
You're buying 17-year-old escorts on Venmo. No one's trying to do cancel culture. They're trying to do criminal justice.
And again, just a very weird apology. It's like he goes on the news and he's like, hey, here's a slideshow of me touching and kissing dozens and dozens of people. Old people, powerful people, all kinds of people. I touch them, I kiss them. I'm Italian.
Sometimes you're Italian.
I don't know much about that story, but like he must have done more.
That's
than touching,
what I'm thinking.
Right?
Like if he's stepping down over this, it's like it stands to reason probably something,
right?
A lot of something else happened. And again, I don't know for sure. I don't know, but you know, politics, baby, it's a dangerous game.
He's had a nice run. He can take and step down. Let someone else do that.
And I don't think he's all too popular in New York after the whole.
Yeah, after he.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plus the whole old person, the old folks home were like, yeah, he's got to go for that. If anything, he's got to go.
He said he's going in there kissing him. He's like, I don't care. I don't give a shit if I get sick. I'm getting in there and I'm giving him. I'm forcing myself on him.
It's very strange how, like, in politics, you can do crimes against humanity and then, like, not get punished, but then you do, like, you know, something like this, and it's like you get got, and it's like, not that I disagree with the getting got for this, but it's just like, man, we really should have drove home that old people dying thing that happened.
Yeah, we tried. Sleep Science in the chat here says that, yeah, he was horribly abusive and sexually harassed his employees. He didn't mention that. Yeah, gotta go then. Get him out of here.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I think these people that want to be politicians, that's a big problem with these politicians is like pretty much all of them are, they're already, they want that power. It should be, we should elect people that don't want the position. You know, it's like jury duty. It's like, sorry, you got called up. You got to be governor for a while. And you've been randomly selected because it turns out you're not a piece of shit. So we need you to run the place, because if we get this other guy he's going to make a lot of bad decisions, and he's going to like abuse.
He wants that power, yeah.
Especially when your dad used to be the governor, and then you are the governor. It's like, maybe we don't do this thing. Like, you remember we used to have kings and queens, and then they were just like, hey, my son or daughter is now the king or queen. It's like, maybe we just don't. Maybe we stop doing this. You know,
New York royalty.
Send him to jail.
Passing down the meatball. What are they going to elect his brother now?
Maybe.
I do miss when those guys would get on the air and argue with each other.
Do you remember when they told them you can't do that anymore because this like defies journalistic integrity? And they were like, oops.
Come on. Hey, that's not what Mother said. I know Mother raised you better than that. Come on. So yeah, I think that would be my punishment for Cuomo, is to get on there, get it back on the news with his brother. Just give these guys a primetime slot. Like, give them an hour to go back and forth and riff with each other. Because he says, like, I like banter, I riff, you know. I want to see.
Yeah, just give him a show.
Wait, if he said that thing about being Italian, right? That's his excuse. Did he say, like, wasn't it one of his excuses is like, I was just being Italian? Well, why don't we give him an Italian punishment?
What would that be like? You thinking mafia style? What are you doing?
Yeah, something like that.
Make him.
Hey, I'm not really saying anything. I'm just saying,
if something were to happen, let's just say
cinder block shoes.
Yeah, if something were to happen, that would be terrible. If something were to happen.
My first instinct, I was like, yeah, cut off his pinky finger. I'm like, oh, that's the Japanese mafia. But hey, you know what? If it works, it works.
Speaking of working, y'all see some of these celebs are refusing to shower.
Now, what's going on with this?
You see this?
Come
you heard
on
this?
now.
So this is like an ongoing thing. And it seemed to have culminated at a head where Jake Gyllenhaal was doing a interview about his bathing habits for some reason, and he said he waits until more and more I find bathing to be unnecessary. Gyllenhaal, 40, told Vanity Fair last week. This is in a long line of other celebrities. Who's the woman from The Good Place? I can't think of her name. Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
And her husband, Dax Shepard, were like, we don't wash our kids unless we see dirt. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have been like, yeah, we don't shower either. And it's very much in line with that whole thing of all these celebrities that are like, ooh, I just ate bugs for the first time. Yum, yum, you should all eat bugs. It's the same, like, logic. Eat bugs, don't shower. It's weird. It's like a vast conspiracy. I don't know. It's what they're trying not to sell us, which is showering.
Doug, you seeing this kind of crap out there in La La Land? Nobody showering. You can smell them a mile away.
I gotta say, guys, I'm kind of into them not showering.
But no, I'm confused because there's such a word, a lot. Remember, like, the Imagine music video and all the celebrities got together and we got to wash our hands and stay safe. And all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, no, the COVID virus, it doesn't, let's just not even, fuck washing hands. I'm not even going to shower.
Soap.
I'm confused. And they're also trying to peddle their own soap.
Yeah. I mean, I've never heard of this no showering thing. This is the first time I've heard of this story.
This is new.
But,
it's new.
They could be doing worse things, I guess. That sounds like maybe a slow news week if this is a story. I mean, look, if we're in a drought and they're living in LA, I say, okay.
That's a good point. Point.
We already have to be kind of apart. And if it doesn't bother me, save some water. If that's what you want to do, I don't care as long as it doesn't affect me. Me and Jake hang out, and he doesn't shower, but he does smear cocoa butter all over his body to kind of make up for it. No, I don't know. I don't hang out with Jake.
And
I don't know.
And they said it's just as good, I assume.
I say I want to know their reasons for not doing it. And maybe they don't need to bathe their kids all the time unless they see dirt. What if they said, unless we see poo, Then that would be like, all right.
That's basically
That's
what
bad
Dax
parenting.
Shepard and Kristen Bell said. They're just like, yeah, if our kid doesn't have shit on him, we're not going to wash him. It just, it reeks, forgive the pun, it reeks of just like that there is some sort of ulterior motive. And I feel like as a thought cop, I have to get to the bottom of it, because it is like, yeah, if it's like, oh, drought in California, it's like, yeah, just be like, hey, we all have to conserve. But the issue with you say, oh, we all have to conserve water is everyone goes, oh, well, what about the farming industry? What about industrial uses? Like, you can't always boil it down to personal responsibility. And I feel like these people are trying to boil it down to personal responsibility and be like, hey, Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't shower. Maybe I don't need to either. He's successful. He's charming. He was in Donnie Darko.
And I see they're trying to justify here, saying when the body sweats, it's a natural way of removing toxins. I guess you don't want to get that shit off you. I don't know. It says, yeah, you.
I mean, look, there could be something to that.
Yeah,
I am open-minded to not, because I do think that there maybe is an abundance of soaps and antibacterial soaps and shampoos that maybe people are, just to be devil's advocate here, that maybe there's something to that. I'm not saying you want to be gross and dirty all the time, but like maybe you don't need to. Maybe for Jake Gyllenhaal and you're just at home all day and you're in your pool and you're driving around your brand new Tesla X and you don't really encounter anything and you never break a sweat. Maybe he doesn't need to.
Yeah, if that's your lifestyle.
Or maybe, yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I just want to know why. Why do they think this? And I want to know the science behind it, because I'm open-minded about the science of things. Sleep science is maybe agreeing with you.
Or I guess he wouldn't know about bathing science as much as sleep science. But yeah, I know we did talk about a couple weeks back about how like people throughout the pandemic were showering less and how doctors were agreeing with that, because if you shower too often...
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
We did talk about that, but it just seems to be like one of those things that it's like, why is this so forced now? Why is this coming up all of a sudden? It's like if people are already showering less and it's just sort of like a way to naturally balance out the hormones and oils and shit going on your skin, like, then we're already doing it. We don't need Jake Gyllenhaal telling us to do it while wearing a rabbit costume, stabbing a mirror with a knife.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Was he ever in the rabbit costume?
No. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, for instance, that could be a thing that happens.
That could be a thing that happens. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm confused, though, because...
I mean, you...
Like, what about the washing hands, you know?
I was saying, you had a point about like, putting it on the individual as far as, like, whatever waste of, say there's a drought. It's not people taking too many showers. It's giant corporations
right,
running rampant with their wasteful practices or whatever, and exploiting resources for profit. It's that kind of thing. So I'm on your side as far as that goes. And I'm saying that as, I have pretty much a vegan diet for the last 3 or 4 years, and I do it for all the reasons. One of them is environmental, but people will say, like, there's, the individual, even if we all did that, it's not going to, and I agree with that too. But it doesn't mean we all need to be wasteful also.
Right.
And I'm not defending Jake or whatever, or condemning Jake Gyllenhaal on this specific topic. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the focus should be on, if he's doing it for some kind of environmental reason, it should be on the corporation's exploitation and wastefulness.
It does make me wonder if because I've been seeing this with some of the anti-vax protests, and maybe I'll circle back around with that, but like it does make me wonder if Jake Gyllenhaal and Kristen Bell and Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, if all these people have been like hired by the fucking almond industry,
big almond,
they call it. If they're like, hey, go on TV and say that you don't shower, and they're just like, yeah, give me $50 million and they're like, done. That's nothing to us. Like, maybe there's some sort of weird thing, because I was reading this entire Twitter thread about like some of these people at these anti-vax protests and how they're all like, they all have like IMDb credits to their name, and how they're basically just failed actors that are getting hired in order to attend these protests. And it just makes me wonder, like, who isn't doing that?
That's
I'll tell you who.
wild. Who's hiring the anti-vax?
That's a very good question. What talent agency is that?
Whoever the
Big Almond?
Big Nut.
Whoever the opposite of George Soros is.
But get this, it doesn't matter how many celebrities aren't washing themselves, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came out and said the opposite. He said, "I am the opposite of a not washing themselves celebrity." He says he takes 3 or 4 showers a day. He says, "I take a cold shower when I roll out of bed in the morning to get my day rolling. I take a warm shower after my workout before work. And then I take a hot shower after I get home from work. I face wash, body wash, exfoliate, and I sing off key in the shower."
Hero.
The guy's got a huge body, too. He's got to have that water running for so long to hit every crevice.
I mean, the guy looks amazing, so maybe I'll have what he's having, I guess.
I got to up my shower intake.
But, does he sing off key? Does he sing off key on purpose? That's my question. It's kind of like not showering. I'm not going to sing on key.
He's trying to conserve
resonance.
Yeah, sure. Something like that.
Right.
So that's my punishment, I guess, is I don't even know. Like, who we punishing Big Almond? We punishing the celebrities?
I guess the celebrities, because the celebrities are the one that are peddling this shit. And honestly, it reminds me of like when you would read about like French high culture and shit like that, and they all had like syphilis and they were all doing like crazy things. They were all like cannibals and shit like that. And then the normal people were like, hey, these high society folks sure are fucked up. Maybe we just like create more and more of a division, and I don't know.
I was gonna say maybe we could just get some more rain in Los Angeles. Just go outside, don't have to waste anything.
Yeah, that also makes sense, I guess.
But let's move on though to
I want to see
what
their lawns look like. I want to see
that too. I want to see that like crabgrass just like thriving in the rain, thriving in the sun, not healthy grass, healthy showered body, I always say. Or maybe it would be the opposite. If you got a healthy lawn, that means you're not showering. But if you got a
just go step outside during the rain. We use the HARP system. We make more rain in California, and then just step outside and shower.
The HARP system?
Yeah,
is that the conspiracy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeding heavy into the conspiracies today.
Might as well. So, key to the city, something nice, something positive, something swell. We're giving out the key to Neo Chicago, to something good. I'm giving it to Brendan Fraser. You want to pull up that video there, Grant?
Sure. Do you want to set this up as...
Yeah, so basically, there's been sort of a Fraser renaissance in recent times because, he was a big name in like the 90s, the early 2000s, and he kind of fell off for a little bit there.
Yeah, he had some like weird sort of, again, like Harvey Weinstein-esque things that like sort of... Yeah,
I thought, did he get canceled, or was it just
No. Like he got like sexually harassed, and he like took a big step back from things for a while. And
damn, I did not know that.
Yeah,
part. Well, that actually sets up this video a little better, even. So
who
who
harassed him? I want to know who harassed him.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I would have to look it up. But should I go ahead and hit play?
Well, yeah, I want to say too. He's also, I guess, he's going to be in like a Martin Scorsese movie coming up.
Yeah,
too. So like he's coming back, and he's having his comeback. So yeah, Grant, if you want to hit play on this.
Oklahoma, that's better.
I love it.
I'm going to work with Scorsese and Leo and Bob De Niro.
Yes, I saw. Congratulations!
And he's got his cowboy hat on.
Thank you. I think I might be sick, a little anxious.
No!
I mean, it's going to be fun.
You got this.
Got it.
Just know that the internet is so behind you. We're so supportive. There are so many people out there who love you, and we're rooting for you, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
And he's almost getting choked up there.
Shucks, ma'am.
So yeah, I mean, like, especially to the point you mentioned, Grant, it's just good to see the guy, getting some kickback, moving back up again.
Apparently, a 2003 incident with HFPA's Philip Burke may have derailed his career.
Fuck you, Philip Burke.
Yeah. Come to Chicago, I'll kick your ass, Philip Burke, in Minecraft.
Doug, you got anything positive you want to get off your chest, share with the world? Anything cool, great, nice?
I got to think about that, but I do like that. I do like that idea of putting the positive things out there, because there's a lot of things to be depressed about, to be upset with these days.
Yeah.
Time to focus on the good things that are out there.
And that's because, there's a lot of...
I need a minute to think about it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. I mean, Grant, you can go first if you want to give Doug a second. Because, there's so much, honestly, a lot of the fucking stories we talk about on the show, it's like we laugh and whatever, but they're just, shitty. A lot of them are just kind of shitty.
It's nice to end the show on a more positive note.
And, we're kind of coming at it from this detached, observational angle, but,
it's nice to be grounded.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What do you got here?
My key to the city this week goes to there's this guy on YouTube, Big Joel, and he makes some pretty good videos. He does sort of have a little bit of a dry personality, but so do I. He made this video called Twitter and Anti-Intellectualism, and he just sort of breaks apart this tweet by another YouTuber, and again, the doubling down and the process, and the whole idea of if we sit here and we have a conversation about a controversial topic or something like that, you'll sort of have this intellectual back and forth of just well, take this into account, maybe you have an entire conversation about it and you learn something along the way, and it's all in good faith and stuff like that. And just when people refuse to engage in criticism, when they double down, when they don't open up themselves to the possibility that they might be wrong, and how just a lot of platforms that we have and we use nowadays just feed into that and stuff like that. And I think that this was a good video. So it's Big Joel, Twitter and Anti-Intellectualism. Give it a view. It might be enlightening. It might not be. I don't know. Do what you want.
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
Doug, you got anything you want to, it could be literally anything. One time someone came on the show and gave it to a cat that kept returning to their alley for food that they were feeding outside every day. So it doesn't have to be the internet. It could be whatever.
I'm going to give it up. Yeah, I mean, a few things pop to mind. I mean, I've been playing volleyball lately, and I'm going to give it up to volleyball because that is a fun sport. Anyone can play it. And that's been... I think sports and just being outside and doing things that get your endorphins flowing, your natural drugs that are in your body waiting to be released. What are they? Endorphins, dopamine. There's another one that
adrenaline.
I think adrenaline. Yeah, those kind of. Well, sometimes adrenaline is bad if you're having a panic attack. That's like an adrenaline rush. You don't want to have that. I'm not going to give a big up for that. That's not the key for the city. But I think the key to the city is just I think people should get out there and ride your bike, do something outside. I think a lot of people are being more into that kind of stuff, which I've always liked, and now I think something about the quarantine and the pandemic has made people seek out that kind of stuff a little more. And that's a trend that I'm into that I think I like that trend. And I think there's a lot of good things that came out of the quarantine too. Like, for example, that people realizing it's nice to be outside more. It's nice to, I think people are just more excited to be nicer to each other.
I feel that.
I have kind of have a vibe of that going on, where it's like, we're all kind of like, all right, we should kind of like come together a little bit. But there's causes that we need to come together for. And maybe that's something that's a positive side effect of the pandemic. And another thing is like Patreon and things like that are for artists like us are a really cool way to
definitely
to like take control of your own kind of like whatever, your own career or whatever. You can like have your own whatever channel, I don't know what you call it, but you can have your own sort of
outlet.
like
It's a huge
network,
help.
and anyone can do. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm starting to get into that kind of stuff, and it's like it's really cool, and it's cool that people are into it. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people like to support directly to the artists in ways like that. I think that's really cool, and it's I don't know, just building communities in that kind of way I really like. And I'll give a shout out to Edmar in Chicago, because what he's doing out there is incredible. You know, Edmar, he runs the Mars Brewery. That put out the Blue Piss beer, and he is a real community kind of oriented guy, and he's got a radio station, he's got an art gallery, he's got
he's got that space in
makes like all his he's down in Bridgeport most of his businesses, but he's just like, we need more people like him out there, because he makes all his kind of like projects kind of fun, and he puts a lot of thought into it and makes it look cool and like makes it a fun experience and tries to do it for the community. You know, I don't know. I just think I give a shout out to him and he should get the key to Neo Chicago. I would trust him with the key to any city.
And he's already here, so he'll take good care of us, I assume.
For sure.
Before we move on, though, I want to get to our Thought Cops word of the week. This week's Thought Cops word of the week is jestermaxxing. This definition comes to us from Incel Wiki, which I didn't know existed until this afternoon. Jestermaxxing is the act of using excessive humor to get a date. Jestermaxxing can be exaggerated to the point of bodily harm, like falling down on purpose in order to get attention. But the word mostly means using humor as a stepping stone to gain romantic attention.
Oh my God, that's so terrible, because like I'm probably guilty of that.
I think we all are here. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's like, you know, it's a part of your personality. I've jestermaxxed, you know, I've made friends by jestermaxxing. I've made all kinds of bonds and relationships in my life by harnessing jestermaxxing.
Remember when you tackled your fence?
Was that on purpose though? I
don't remember.
I was pretty drunk, so.
Well, I take offense to these kind of terms. There's like a term for everything.
There really
now.
is.
You know, it's like jestermaxxing. Like I consider, I think Tim Heidecker said it recently. Somebody told him that his love language was like laughter or like joking around, and I really like identify with that. And when I'm hanging out with my friends, it's not necessarily trying to get a date. Like my dude friends or whatever, we're trying to make each other laugh all the time.
Right.
And if trying to make people laugh is going to be turned into some kind of like term that's like in the same category as like mansplaining, he's jestermaxxing. It's like, come on, like everyone likes to laugh, and like that's what I like to do. I like to joke around and laugh with people. You know, and don't turn it into some kind of like negative term. I guess people can go to the extreme. If it's the max and you're taking it to the max, then maybe it's a problem. But I've never seen people try to make people laugh. That's been problematic.
Keep in mind the definition does come to us from Incel Wiki, so it's maybe, you know,
it's just there's too much jargon, and I feel like none of it's widespread, but if you say it, you immediately know what people are talking about.
And like the first time I saw it used was on Twitter recently, where like in some thread, some guy was calling out someone for like talking about self-improvement, and like using humor to like, you know, for someone who is now his wife or something. He's like, yeah, the guy was totally jestermaxxing and doing this and that. But they were like saying it as like a very critical way of like trying to take this guy down. And it was like, what the fuck is jestermaxxing? And then of course, here we are using it.
The people need to know, you know?
Oh boy.
So
Well, I learned a new word this week.
Yeah,
so
feel free to use that one or call someone out if you notice them doing it.
Yeah.
Before we get to our final segment of the show, which is our listener voicemails, Doug, feel free to plug anything you wanna throw out there, man. Podcast, anything, shows coming up.
Well, I do a podcast with Brent Weinbach called the Poundcast. You can see that on YouTube.
I'll vouch, huge fan. I love it. Been listening for years and years.
Hell yeah. And then I also do Office Hours with Tim Heidecker and Vic Berger. That's typically on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. We're live on YouTube. And I think that's about it. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram if you want to watch my funny videos. Douggpound. That's on all the Douggpound with 2 G's in it. All the social media. I don't really do TikTok. I'm on there. I'm just dipping my toe in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get in that whole thing.
I'm in the same boat. Grant here's he's become a bit of a TikTok superstar these days.
I don't know if superstar is the right word.
Compared to me, like he's got a lot of great, actually a lot of great Chicago centric videos that sort of caught on with a lot of people here. So he's harnessed the language of the platform.
That's weird.
Because it does feel it's different. I mean, every platform is like different from each other. They're very similar, but also there's certain idiosyncrasies that are important to, kind of take note of when you're doing it, because you don't want to come across any certain way.
Right.
And yeah, you and Vic, though, with the sound drops on, like, whether it's Office Hours or the Poundcast, just like always cracks me up. Just a well-timed, like, fucking fart noise, or like a clip from God, there is like something, I think it was at Aerosmith, like Dream On, where it's just the vocals. Like someone drops that in mid-conversation, makes me laugh so fucking hard.
Oh, Jamie's got a gun.
Yeah.
Jamie's got a gun. I think that might be mine. Oh, on August 24th, we're doing 2 live shows, and they will be streamed, I think, on YouTube. You can check
Awesome.
those
Is that
out.
going to be in LA?
They're going to be in LA at Dynasty Typewriter, but they will be like worldwide also. We're going to be streaming them worldwide, so anyone can.
That's great, man.
Hopefully,
maybe Grant and I will hop in there, take some notes for our live show right after that. Be like, okay, see what works.
Fix all the technical problems beforehand.
Yeah, let's get that under control this time. We would drag one thing from the other screen.
They'll never be under control. That's why they're technical problems.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So, moving on though.
Yeah, why can't they have this shit figured out by now?
Seriously,
it's taken us 4.5 years, and we're kind of working out the kinks. I'm sure everybody loves that. But anyway, we'll get along to our listener voicemails. If you want to give us a call, it's 312-788-7361, or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Let's hit it.
Hey, Mr. Douggpound. My name's Aaron. I saw on your Instagram stories when you were in Chicago a story of Wolf Larson's balls for president. If you're an actual Wolf Larson fan, name 5 of his best self-published books or YouTube open mic sets.
Oh my God. So, Doug, there is this guy, there is a comedian here in Chicago. That was our friend Aaron Klopfer. There's a comedian here in Chicago named Wolf Larson. And he goes to he goes to these open mics and does these insane sets where he talks about like riding Obama's dick into space and all this other stuff, like, and then I'm fucking Melania Trump and I'm riding Obama's big cock into space. But what Aaron is referencing is this guy has self-published this book that's on Amazon, I guess. And he's put up these stickers like all over Logan Square, all over Wicker Park. And Aaron noticed that on one of your Instagram stories recently, and I'm not sure if you remember this or not, but when you were in Chicago, you'd taken a picture of one of Wolf Larson's stickers where it's just this big yellow sticker that says Wolf Larson's balls for president. Which is just like...
Yeah, I thought that was a great sticker. I didn't know who he was.
You didn't check out the book on Amazon?
I didn't look into it. I just posted it, and maybe I should do a little more research.
Yeah, you never know who you're promoting these content creators.
Yeah, you never know who you're promoting.
No, he's just this really goofy guy, but he's definitely like if you're in the comedy scene here in Chicago, you've probably seen him at an open mic.
I want to start doing stand up again just to go and just see some of the characters.
Oh
I miss the
dude.
characters, man. There's so
That's
many
been the best part of getting
weird
back into
fucking
it.
characters. And Wolf,
Kyle,
Wolf Larson. God.
oh man, it's really a sight to behold. Let's play the next one here.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon Kirkman.
What's up?
Hey, heard you're gonna have on Douggpound. Big fan. I think Pound House might be one of my favorite things on the internet. That's why I want to ask this question. There's a line in that show specifically, which is "Slipper good," and plays over in my mind over and over again. It's never left. Do you guys get one phrase in your head that just keeps playing over and over, and you can't do anything to stop it? Anyways, Slipper good.
There we go. Classic. I think he dropped the phone in the toilet that time.
Sounds like it.
So yeah, if you caught that, Doug, he said Brent's classic line, "Slurpee good" from Pound House, he said is constantly rattling around in his brain and wondering if there's any specific phrases that you often think about, whether it's from Pound House or whether it's from anything.
It's usually like a song that I, been listening to lately. Sometimes a song will get stuck, classic kind of thing like that. Lately, there's a song that popped up on my Spotify. It was by this band Otis, Ohtis, and the song is called Shotsky or something. And it's a really catchy tune about, it's kind of like this, in the voice of a guy who's kind of an asshole being canceled on Instagram. And there's a call and response, and he's talking to a woman, and she goes, "Fuck you very much, sir." And that's been going in through my head all week. I would definitely check them out. I actually put that song on one of my stories on Instagram, and the band
oh, that's awesome.
saw it. They were following me, and I was like, "What the hell? I just found this song randomly, and you guys are following me. Now they're going to be on the Poundcast."
Oh, that's fucking
awesome.
great.
Because the video is really cool too. So that song has been going through my head all week.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I would say
it's a cool song.
To Brandon's point though, Pound House is filled with so many great key phrases, and I would say one phrase that has stuck in my head for years has just been "Acorn on Blast," and just and the other one with the woman playing Brent's mom. I think she just just goes "Yeah, I got to go take a bottom half shower now." Just there's so many
because they're acorns. Yeah, because they're acorns
all wet down there.
Happens.
Grant, you got anything rattling around in your head up there? You can't stop thinking about maybe something funny I said one time.
Well, no. But since I made a video on TikTok that just got released 4 days ago, 3-4 days ago, on the anniversary of the Dave Matthews Band bridge incident, for those that are familiar or unfamiliar. And ever since, I have the Dave Matthews Band song Ants Marching just constantly playing in my head.
Is that
that just all the time?
It's a catchy one.
Doug, were you in Chicago when that happened? Do you remember that at all? Are you familiar with the Dave?
We've talked about it before on podcasts. It's just the best story ever. But my joke was, I wonder if ants were marching on the people that were covered in poo or something, but not that good. But I don't know if I was there, but that story is just incredible. Everything about it. Sorry for those people that got poo dumped on them, but
they're heroes.
It's gotten me thousands of followers on TikTok.
They're heroes.
So, by all means, I will milk that 800 pounds of shit until it's dry.
God damn.
I'll just keep milking it.
I never thought about that. If the shit was dry, it could have killed people. 800 pounds of dried shit collapsing on a boat of tourists.
They had their mouths open. Some of them had their mouths open.
My God.
Yeah, their mouths were agape looking at the Mies van der Rohe architecture.
Ooh, ah.
So yeah, ants marching. That's my my recurring earworm, as it were. Let's go ahead and play this next one here.
Hey guys, I've been listening to Thought Cops for been a couple weeks, so new listener.
All right, welcome
to
the fold.
Got a lot of good guests on there.
Thank you.
Douggpound is I think it was a good choice.
Just keep chewing.
Just wondering, could we maybe get one day sorry.
That's fine.
No, go ahead.
Could we maybe one day get like a Poundcast Thought Cops like collab? Like
Swallow
you
your
guys
nuts,
go
swallow your food.
I don't know.
Their podcast now, you know?
I just assume he's chewing
And
on
like,
nuts.
you know, talk about stuff, and you can talk to Brent Weinbach. He's a funny guy. You know? I would like to see you guys interact with him too, but can't wait for the episode. But yeah, that's all I really got to say. Have a good day. Enjoy each other's company.
Thank you.
Love ya.
Love ya.
Okay.
Too. Wow.
You know, that's not a bad idea. You guys have the gift of gab. Sometimes you get these guests on, and
they just kind of clam up.
Sometimes people can't stop chewing in the middle of a voicemail.
Yeah, Doug,
Wouldn't
I
want
would say
someone like that on.
If that happens, if it does, I promise I won't be chewing on Cheetos or nuts or whatever the hell kind of pretzels that guy was eating.
Sounded like bread or like a cake.
Well, I would say, yeah, I have a dear friend that calls me whenever he's eating, and he likes to just multitask, I guess. And it's, yeah, that drives me crazy when people are eating and smacking their lips, or when they're eating and you're at a restaurant and you can just hear them going.
I mean, they must be.
That's just one of my pet.
You got to be
peeves.
pretty damn busy if you can't, make a phone call when you're not eating.
I do have to say, I do weaponize that against like family sometimes, just to passive aggressively be like, I don't fucking want to talk to you. I'm eating lunch right now. What do you want? And they keep talking, and I just chew louder into the phone just to make a point.
Like, yeah, I'm going through a tunnel. Sorry,
it's a personal problem, but I have done that before. I suggest it. Go ahead, do it. Tell them I sent you.
Officer Grant told me.
All right, let's play this next one.
Hi, this message is intended for Douglas Lussenhop.
Yeah,
My
for sure,
name's
man.
Kyle. I'd probably be too embarrassed to say this stuff to you if I ever actually met you. You probably get stuff like this often.
So you said this is for Doug.
I've followed your stuff since I was like a teenager in like 2008, and I'm like 27 now. And I just wanted to say, like, probably you more than anyone that I followed on the internet at all has had a bigger impact on my own like artistic development and like sensibility and aesthetic. And I follow you on your podcast and stuff, and I know here and there, and not to put you on the spot or anything, but throughout like the pandemic or just things not going the way expected, it can be pretty discouraging. But I know you and Brent have an aesthetic sensibility to make something truly great. And I don't mean just a fucking like funny internet video, even though you are really good at that. I mean, you will make something that is truly great, that will deeply impact people. And I know that sounds trite, and I don't really know you beyond like the internet but I hope you receive that as truth. Peace.
Wow, a very kind voicemail from Kyle. Kind Kyle.
Well, that is really, that's really nice to hear that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know what to say. That's cool to hear, because it's sometimes I feel like, what am I doing with my life? I should be out there like, I don't know, saving the whales or something. But
wow,
it's good to know that some people, it uplifts people, the work I do. And that's cool to hear. And you know what, Kyle? Brent and I do have plans to make something great one day. Hopefully it happens.
There was, on that note, I remember on an episode of the Poundcast, I think it was, where you and Brent were talking about making something that was like completely 100% serious, and that the very act of doing that would be the funniest thing you made. Like, just not even like, there would be like no winking to the audience, no nothing, but just making a straight on serious drama. And I like that idea a lot. I think that, to what Kyle said, that could be something truly incredible.
Well, that idea was from this guy, Mike Allen, who was a guest on the show. He said he would like to make a movie. He's a filmmaker and stuff. And he thought that would be an idea if me and Brent were in a movie he wrote that was just 100% drama. And I'm down. Let's go. Let's get the production going.
Let's make it happen, Kyle.
The thing is, like, I mean, Brent and I just shot a video today, and it's sadly, Kyle, it's just another funny internet video. But we have been writing a feature, but it's sort of like, it's easy to just shoot something in a day and put it out. A feature, maybe that's something he's talking about, is like a bigger project.
Yeah, I mean.
That's like a bucket list dream of mine to like make a feature like that. And hopefully it'll happen one day. I do like the immediate kind of like response you get from just putting out something quick like that. Then you get the laughs and the likes or whatever, right away. And it's just fun to have it out there. But thank you, Kyle. And I'll keep that in mind. Keep that project alive.
Let's hit the next one here.
And good evening, Thought Cops. Once again, it is I, Leo, the incredible deputy, calling in.
Hello, Leo.
Crime tonight, gentlemen. Cuomo sexuals. A step too far.
Oh, no.
Sexualizing a politician, especially a recently disgraced one, not a good look, as
not
they
at
might
all.
say. Nonetheless, punishment must be dealt with. And as I usually determine death as preferred method, it would be short-lived. I demand the wheel of punishment for anyone identifying as a Cuomo-sexual. And to your guest, Douggpound, I also, too, wish similar for anyone who steals your jokes and writes them on a napkin after you've told them. Terrible. Joke stealing, politician worshipping, all of it's terrible. Punish them all. Spin that wheel. Have a great night, gentlemen.
Thank you, Leo.
Thank you,
Wonderful
Leo.
voicemail. Doug, have you seen this on like...
Well, I did see a great... I saw...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to say I saw a funny joke, not my joke. But I have used this phrase, no Cuomo, but I didn't really know how to like contextualize it. But somebody made a joke that he said he was just being Italian. So like if you're not Italian and you accidentally do something Italian, you can say, "Oh, no Cuomo."
That's great. That's great.
Brilliant.
That's a pretty funny tweet I saw. I can't remember who said it.
Have you seen this guy, Randy Rainbow, on Twitter?
Apparently he coined.
Yeah, he's like
I don't know who that is.
He's this like hardcore neoliberal. Like,
so it's not.
No,
it's not ironic.
No. He,
God damn.
Like, for example, like 6 days ago, he put up a picture of Barack Obama and said like, "Happy birthday, Dad," on Obama's birthday. And somebody responded, they were like, "Weird thing to say to a guy who's 6 years older than you." But he also was the one he's obsessed with like Cuomo. He put up like, he did this whole like song and dance music video where he was like talking about how he was a Cuomo-sexual, where he's like, I thought it was a joke. We were
Dude, I'm such a fucking idiot.
Dude, we were going to talk about that.
Dumb.
We were going to talk. It was on the Google Doc at one point, and it was just one of those things we didn't have time for.
Right.
And also, the video is so fucking horrifying. So it's like, yeah. And again, he still had. Maybe it's time to delete the video on the guy's, resigning because of sexual allegations. You don't want to be out there proudly saying that you were a Cuomo-sexual. So
speaking of Cuomo-sexual,
for Leo's request here, we'll spin the wheel here. Our wheel of punishment here, as it were.
Sisyphist Boulder.
Sisyphus Boulder. So again, kind of like what Doug was saying, if you're, talking about fisting, you say, hey, you get over here, you fanuc, whatever the Italians would say.
You get one of these.
Yeah. And that happens to you, say, no como.
By the way, my phone updated, right? You know how the iPhone just updates to the new OS? I was looking through my emojis. I was looking for this. I think it might be gone. I think they might have
get rid
of it. Sometimes I look and it is there.
I mean,
but they might have deleted
it's possible.
They put it in the same category as the gun.
That's why. That's why we have these guns on the show, because it's that's what we have now on our iPhones and our emojis. But yeah, I guess we're gonna censor this out on the video episode. We can't even do this anymore.
It'd be a brilliant edit.
It's a forbidden hand gesture.
It's racist now.
To the Italians.
Yeah.
Let's hit this next one.
So I am sick of this humid ass weather. So whoever is in charge of that HARP weather system that controls the weather and creates typhoons and hurricanes, can you just get rid of the humidity setting? If I go outside at 8 in the morning to be a good girl to go work outside, I don't want my glasses to fog out every time I go in and out of air conditioning. It's ugly and disgusting, frankly offensive and bigoted, I'd even say.
Bigoted.
How I care to elaborate on that one, I wonder.
White women always trying to make themselves the victim.
It makes my hair frizzy. No, that's I would say to you, get out your ocarina and play the Song of Storms.
Damn.
Get some rain, and that's what I think the whole world could use, a little rain. Yeah, I mean the humidity here is
Joanna Newsom behind that?
Oh, that's because she's on the harp.
Is Joanna Newsom behind?
Yeah, maybe she could team up with Governor Newsom.
Yeah,
Governor Newsom, and
that's all I got.
Rain problem out there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of this harp system, but if they're doing rain, we could use. Let's bring the harp over here. Put out some of these fires.
Seriously, are Joanna and Gavin related? Gavin Newsom.
Great question.
Yeah.
You never know.
Joanna Newsom, probably. I'm gonna go ahead and assume.
I know so little.
Let me see. Was that the last voicemail?
That was the last voicemail.
Wow. Well, yeah, I said, if that strikes your fancy, that inspires you, give us a call, 312-788-7361, or you can send an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast.com. And if you feel like supporting the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/thoughtcops, send us over a few bucks. We got plenty of bonus content. We're going to be recording a brand new episode of Fire Bros very soon. We're gonna get Josh on the episode again, review some mystery media. So check it out. Stay tuned, and you can hang out here in the live chat with us. We got Sleep Science. We got Deputy Leo. I saw Zwick in there too.
Everybody's favorites.
It helps us out a lot. So yeah, we'll wrap up the episode, and I just want to say, Doug, thanks a ton for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, really
I'm glad we could finally get this coordinated.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. And to everybody listening, thank you. We love you. Stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time.
See you, Space Cop.
Bye.
Peace.
Hi, my name is Doug. I'm your new best friend. I hope you like my beats. The world is gonna end. Instagram's a prison. The bombs are gonna drop. Yoga doesn't matter. Let's drink soda pop. The bankers get it all.